Hello there, good to see you and thank you for clicking. Now on this video I'm going to share with you 4 amazing investments that you can make at your 20s and 30s, and rest assured at your 40s you have what we call the financial stability and you can retire at your own pace. You know what, I always tell you that wealth is never an event, it's always a process. And guess what, on this video I'm going to share with you those 4 amazing investments step by step. Each and every step I'm going to explain exactly how you can get started. And guess what, the fourth one is my favorite. And by the way, I do post a video each and every day and I don't want you to miss any piece of that. And guess what you can do for that? Only take 1 second, doesn't cost you anything. Just down below there on your right there is a button written subscribe. Hit that button, then hit that like button, and once you do exactly that, rest assured that you'll be notified by YouTube whenever I upload a new good video. Alright, so let's get into today's business. Alright, so and in this video, I'm going to share in two categories. Number one, I'm going to consider those people who have employed themselves. And number two, I'm going to consider those guys who are employed. Because honestly speaking, say you're employed, there's some of the time that you do not have for you to do some of the things. And if you employed yourself, then you can go ahead and have multiple of things at the same time. All right, so let's get this started. All right, so number one, there's something called stocks. This is a thing that I've been talking day in, day out, day in, day out. And I've been saying, guess what? You starting with stock, it doesn't require a lot of money. You know, there's some certain mentality that is out there, and people say like, hey, you know what, stocks or shares, by the way, they kind of mean like for the rich people and something of sort. I do not know how to get started with it. Don't worry about that. I always tell you, you can even start with less than 1,000 bob. You have your shares, and from there you can create or build your portfolio to the biggest one and actually become to a point whereby you are worthy and important person in that given company. And if not, then you have yourself what you call the biggest terms of dividends and you're earning out there. The only thing you need for you to get started with the stocks and this particular point, you only need to have yourself a CDS account. And that CDS account you can be able to open using what we call a regulated broker. And we have multiple of them. All right. If you want to know who are the regulated brokers, I would advise you go to the NSE, that is Nairobi Stock Exchange website. At that particular place, they are listed there. I think 12 of them or 13 of them, they are listed there. You can pick any of your choice, and from there you can contact them, get the CDS account, and get started with shares. You know why I always say this? Because you find with shares, you just put a little amount of money. You can just decide to put like a large amount of money or small little amount, or like substantive amount of money, with time, and then build yourself what you call the portfolio. Because with stocks, you can do so whether you employed yourself or whether you are getting employed. You do not have time for the investment. That's for a fact. It's not a complicated thing. It's a simple thing that you can pick it up and then get started from that particular point. And people ask me now, well, how much does shares pay, or how stocks pay, and after how long do they pay? You find some companies pay what we call the interim dividend, meaning after 6 months, that is semi-annually, and then at the end of the year, then they give you another dividend. So don't get stressed. Like if a company doesn't pay you the semi-annually one, you can just go ahead and wait for the entire year, and for that, for you to get what we call the dividends. All right, so at that particular point, the only thing you need is a CDS account. You need your KRA pin. You need what to have that company that you would like to buy shares from, and then from there you pick it up from there. All right. The next thing that you're supposed to do, or you can do at this particular point if you're at this age, is something that is called rates. Actually, I made a whole video dedicating this specific thing called rates. If you can check my older videos, you'll get a whole information about it. On this particular point, I'm just gonna mention some little information about rates. Rate simply means real estate investment trust. Basically, it's like you're buying shares for the real estate. Let's say you're out there one day, you have dreams of becoming a landlord, or maybe you have a dream of investing in real estate and something of sort. But at this particular point, you do not have that enough money for you to get started with rates. So what exactly does that mean? You can start from where you are, or you can buy shares or stocks of that given specific investment platform or portfolio. There are two companies actually in Kenya that are regulated that you can go ahead and start investing with rates. We have the ELAM and we have what we call the ECON. All right. And by the way, I know you're asking, okay, how much do I need to get started with rates? Guess what? You are required to buy a minimum of 100 rates, as simple as that. And that minimum of 100 rates, rest assured, is less than 1,000 bob. So why don't you pick it up as an example and get started with this kind of an investment called rate? And then from there, you can build your portfolio and grow yourself to the next level. Perhaps if I can just shed a little bit of light of exactly what is rates and how do you get started with rates. Rates is basically you buying units, or rather buying trust, or buying sort of a quote unquote shares of that given real estate investment companies, whereby they pull resources from different individuals. Once they get that money, they put it on the ground, meaning that they can go ahead and purchase a land, build some rentals, and whatever they rent those rentals, and then once they get their money, you are entitled to get a profit out of that specific thing. All right. They can concentrate on building commercials, and then they can rent those commercials, and then you're out there, you're entitled to getting profit or dividends out of that what you've invested. And of course, how much you get is dependent with how much they have collected as well, how much they have actually, or how much actually you've invested with them. Of course, if I invest more money than you, definitely I'll get more money than you. So with rates, you can get started with it as slowly and grow yourself to the next level. All right. The third way that you can invest your money in this specific, at this specific age bracket is by doing what we call the insurance policies. And in Kenya, by the way, I was a bit shocked to realize that in Kenya we have like the best insurance policies whereby you can get started with them. I don't want to name any companies with insurance. Of course, you know them. They will have them, multiple streams of them. And whenever you talk of insurance policies, people tend to think like you're talking about the health things or something of sort. It is way beyond health thing. Actually, you can invest with those insurance policies, and then from there you can grow your portfolio. You can either pick it up, or you can be able to invest with them with an aim of getting yourself a secured future or sort of a retirement plan or something of sort. And then from there, and with this, I bet you can just decide when to retire. How about you pick it up from, let's say, at 20 years or 22 years? Let's say you're just getting your small vibarua here and there, you're getting some few coins. How about you pick that example, and then you put a little money out there, and then from there grow yourself to the next level. And by the time you're hitting your 40, how about you decide that's your retirement age, and you say, hey, you know what, guys, I need all my money because I want to put my money in somewhere else. And then from there you grow yourself to the next level. So at that particular point, I've discussed three. Number one, I've discussed about rates. Number two, I have discussed about what we call the stocks or the shares, the commonly known as the shares. You can get started with shares. There was a video I made, by the way, and I said you can actually buy Safaricom shares with the less than 3,000. Anyway, I'm not advertising that company. All what I'm saying is to shed the light and make you believe that all this investment does not require like an outrageous amount of money that you've been thinking like, oh, this is for the rich. Oh, no. You just need like a small amount of money out there. All right. So now this is the fourth one. This is the last but not the least. And by the way, I'm gonna add you a bonus of exactly, if you do not love this kind of an investment, you'd love to start some businesses and grow yourself. This is what I'm gonna share with you next after sharing this fourth one, which is an amazing, and I love it. And on this particular one, it's about investing in unit trust. Of course, under the unit trust, we have different unit trusts like the money market fund, of course, my favorite. We have the balance fund, we have the bond fund, we have what we call the dollar fund, and what have you. So, but on this, I'm gonna concentrate majorly on the money market fund. I know you've been hearing about this like a million times. You're like, okay, fine, Joseph, money market fund again. What is this that you always talk about? It's like, guess what? And I'm gonna talk about it like thousands and thousands of many times, by the way, to come in future. So, what exactly by money market fund? The most amazing thing that I love about money market fund is something that is called the compounding effect of the money market fund. Say I invest my 100K, I get like, say, 10% of my interest in terms of the dividends, and then it's like 10,000 plus my 100,000. First of all, let's assume there is no tax, and then that's like 110,000. So whatever that money will be subjected to in the next year will be 10% of 110,000. See, now that makes me feel good because I understand that creating wealth, it's all about compounding effect. And if you miss that point, then you can get yourself into problems. And by the way, getting started the money market fund, because I know you're asking yourself, okay, fine, you say it's your amazing one, it's like your favorite. Now, how much do I need to get started the money market fund? So definitely for you to get started the money market fund, you only need to have like, there's a company that you need only 100 bob to get started with it. I think it's called Zimele. You only need like 100 bob. You can open an account, put your 100, put your 100, put your 100. And then with that time, then you can just create your portfolio as long as you can. That's very simple. I mean, seriously, honestly speaking, who is that at, let's say, 22, 23, 24 and above there that you cannot honestly afford, even if it's a week for only 100 bob? You can actually afford that specific amount of money, all right? So that money, you can actually channel it towards that money market fund, grow yourself or grow your portfolio to a point whereby now you can be able to say, hey, you know what, I've invested and this is what I'm getting as my dividends. All right. So the other thing you can be able to pick under the unit trust is the bond fund. The other thing you can be able to pick up from this is another thing called the balance fund and what have you. And by the way, I haven't discussed, or I'm not discussing all that information because I've dedicated videos for each and every of those down there. If you check my older videos, you can be able to get all that information about those money market fund and how you can get started with it. If I can just shed a little bit of light about money market fund, you only need to have your KRA pin, you need to have your ID, a bank account, and a passport size, and you get started. A simple start. Then you get started with money market fund. Doesn't matter whether you're inside the country or you're outside. You can pick it up and start from there. Let's say you are out there, you don't like those kind of investments. Your thing is about businesses, the conventional businesses that we know, like hardware, butchery, cosmetic salon, spa, whatever. Pick it up at that particular point, because you know what, at 20s you have the allowance to trying anything you want out there. You can try this. If it doesn't work, you can try the other, because what you have at this particular point is the luxury of time. That's for a fact. When you're at your 20s, you have what you call the luxury of time. Do not try to be so much overcautious to a point whereby you're even fearing to actually getting started. All right, at this particular point, you're allowed to try and press different buttons so that you see what works and what doesn't work for you. Because by the time you're hitting your 50, or maybe let's say 45 and above, you feel like at that particular point you do not have time, the time is not at your side, and you do not have even that luxury of pressing any button you want out there. But at that particular point of 20 or 30s, you are allowed to try different things. All right, so that at least you can know this what works for me or this doesn't work for you. Sometimes I usually get some calls and someone tells me like, I have 100 or 150,000, I just want to get started with investment, but I'm so cautious. I don't want to lose money and something. Don't worry. At that particular point, just don't worry. All right. Just try to put that money out there. Put another one out there. Put another one. Just try to diversify yourself, and with that, then you can be able to grow yourself to the biggest level. That's the only thing that I can advise as of now. All right. So anyway, those are just but 4 examples of investment that you can be able to start. And guess where I've gotten them? I've gotten them from my booklets about investments, about a money market fund, about treasury bonds, and about whatever. I have different like business plans, business ideas, and you can pick up any copy of those booklets and get started. How do you do that exactly? Get my number from the description of this specific video. Give me a call or text me on WhatsApp. Then you get your copy, and from that, or only that, you get the ideas and pick it up from there and grow yourself to the next level. All right. So for now, I should say it's a goodbye, but don't forget to hit that subscription button, like this video as well, comment down below, tell me how you think or what you think about, because I'm a believer, just like an iron sharpens another iron, so do we learn from each other at all the time. All right, so